Injury report. Look, I put Justin Jefferson on here because I didn't know how to list him in terms of like a player. So first of all, Justin Jefferson is not injured. He's perfectly fine. Now, I felt he was wronged with the targeting call. The more that we've seen the targeting call on social media, the targeting call was not it. However, he's not playing in the first half of this game against Wisconsin. Okay, he has to sit out the first half because the targeting call came in the second half on the season, as you could see. He's performing at a really good level. You look at the inside linebackers for Alabama, they're doing a really good job. Jahad Campbell, Deontay Lawson. He's played in a lot of snaps too, so he has to sit that first half, and I believe Wisconsin has a player that's sitting in the first half as well. So he's not injured. He's perfectly fine. I'm just putting him on the screen because it kind of goes with the players that are also on the injury report. So Justin Jefferson just out for quarters 1 and 2. All right. Kadyn Proctor, day to day. I would imagine, let me ask you, just a yes or a no. Do you think that he will play on Saturday? Do you think that Kadyn Proctor will play on Saturday? I'm going to go ahead and say yes inside the comment box. I think he'll play. I mean, he was out. It looked like he was practicing even before this game against South Florida. I think he'll play. Let me ask you, Undefeated. Do you think he'll play? Type Y if you think so. Type N if you don't. So far, 3 yeses and 2 nos. Josh Miller saying yes. It was interesting with the 49ers last night. You have Mason come in at running back. I guess he knew he was going to play on Thursday. He shows up and plays instead of Christian McCaffrey. I think these players already know clearly their game plan, the system, who's going to play. I mean, no one can go watch the practices anymore. I mean, that was all opened up. The practices are closed going forward. Nobody's going to the practices. However, with that said, it looks like there's the practices are still pretty open. It looks like there's a celebrity, at practice every single day here in Alabama. But that's just kind of the new way. I think he's going to play. Cole Adams, how about this? I thought this was good news. I thought it was an elbow injury. Coach Kalen DeBoer said yesterday is day to day. Man, you know what? Coach Kalen DeBoer, number one, he has Jeff Allen, who's incredible, but also the injuries that Alabama have had, they haven't been significant. I mean, other than, poor Jalen Hell, who we're keeping track of, and I still don't know what Jeremiah Alexander, his injury is, but man, they look, Jaden Roberts, Daniel Hill, Kadyn Proctor doesn't look serious. Cole Adams doesn't look serious. Xavier Brown wasn't. There's been I think maybe 10 guys that have been injured, and they all come back within 2 days. Right? Me too, Josh. Josh, I was thinking the same thing, man. I was like, as soon as I saw his elbow, I was like, geez, man, he's out. He's day to day. Man. So that's good. I mean, things are good. I personally think Kadyn Proctor probably plays. Dude, exactly, Luke. I don't know, man, because when we were doing the watch along and we saw him with the elbow, I was like, oh man, poor dude. But thank goodness, man, because you probably not going to see him at punt return, right? I mean, even if he plays, I like Jalen Mbakwe back there. Look, Cole Adams doing a good job too. I don't know. Jalen Mbakwe just kind of has it, but he's good. So the good news is Cole Adams day to day, probably playing today, practicing. And then Jeremiah Alexander, no idea, and then Jalen Hell out until further notice. So that's the injury report going into this game against Wisconsin. Looking at the Badgers, we'll go full screen. 2-0 on the season. That's Tyler Van Dyke. He's our quarterback. He's a transfer from Miami. They beat Western Michigan in the opener, 28-14. Beat South Dakota. I think South Dakota, aren't they the number 1 team in FCS? 27-13. Tyler Van Dyke's our quarterback. 406 yards this season. Kind of low numbers with only one touchdown. He's 38 of 63 for 60%. I watched some of his film. I mean, I was moderately impressed. Like, he could throw the ball, but I wasn't like, oh man, this dude is like throwing darts. Like, but with that said, I think he's a better quarterback than these two other quarterbacks in terms of accuracy. I don't know. Have you guys seen him play? Do a watch on Western Michigan or South Dakota. Let me know what you think. Jarvis inside the comment box. The line moving a little bit now. Alabama by 16. Over under 51.5. I checked the weather too. So it looks like in Madison, Wisconsin on Saturday morning, there could be a little bit of rain. I think the high is 80. Ches Malusi. Man, Malusi's been there for a long time. He has 134 yards at running back with 3 touchdowns. Will Pauling is their leading receiver, 10 catches for 108 yards. They don't have a lot of glaring like stat stars through 2 games, right? And then Hunter Worrell on the defensive side at safety, 106 snaps, a grade of just 73.7. I mean, even when you look at the grades, it's not an overwhelming type team. 2015, the 2 teams last met, it was 35-17. I mean, do you guys remember the last game in 2015 when they played? The Ches Malusi dude, he's tough. He's a good runner. The one thing that did stand out to me when I did watch this game was the fact that their offensive line got a really big push off the ball. So, but on the flip side, I think Alabama's defensive line is playing some damn good football. I think this team will try to play time of possession football, try to get the ball to Malusi, but I just don't know if they have the weapons to keep up with Alabama. At first, I was a little bit nervous about this line, 16, but now I think they're a physical team. But I don't know. I think Alabama about to beat the brakes off these guys now that I get like closer to Wednesday. And considering, this game against South Florida, I think they are you guys feeling that Alabama beats up on Wisconsin? Hey, Jay, what's up, man? Welcome to the Fan Funder Club. We appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for joining us. We love you, man. We appreciate you. I don't know. Sometimes I think the games are going to be a little bit tighter. I don't think this one will be tight. I said this yesterday. I kind of looked at this game as last year's game against Texas A&M. When Alabama went to A&M, very challenging environment. Same thing with Camp Randall. It's very loud. It'll be hostile. They're doing like the red-white within their stadium. You see this? And yeah, Fickell, I think, is a great coach, 100%. But I just don't think that they have the athletes to stop Alabama. And the quick strike ability for the Crimson Tide is, probably the best in the country. I don't really think they have a playmaker too, man. I'm serious. I just, sometimes I feel these games are going to be a little bit tighter. I don't with this one. So for your Wisconsin fans, I'm sure, you could use this as rat poison or whatever, but I just think that Alabama is about to give it to Wisconsin. Maybe I'm wrong. I have no idea. So currently, this is how the Alabama offensive line looks.